The process is quite simple. First, you have to choose the tool that you're gonna use, because you can do an end milling, a face milling, or any other milling. So you have to choose first the tool, and then you have to put your piece, and you have to assemble. And further in the video, you will see how it's done. And then you have to calibrate, and then you have to get the S and F. That is very important, because the numbers depends on the material and the tool that you're gonna use. And then having that, you can start the milling process, and you can do it in a manually or in an automatic way, and that's it.
To create this piece, we use end milling and face milling. First of all, we need to rectify our piece, our piece to using face milling. And to create these cuts, we use end milling. For this machine, we have three different movements in the X, Y, and Z axis. In the X axis, we have 840 millimeters. In the Y axis, we have a maximum movement of 376 millimeters. And for Z axis, 460 millimeters. About the maximum charge in our table, we have 200 kilograms. About the power of the machine, we know that it's 4 horsepower. And the units of our system, of our machines, are in inches and millimeters. We also have a wrench, two different wrenches. In the first one, we have from 60 to 800 RPMs, and in the second one, that is faster, we have from 800 to 4,000 RPMs.
To assemble our piece into the machine, first what we need to do is to put our piece with help of two parallels. Here we can see two metal structures that make some pressure at the both sides of the piece, and that makes the piece to hold still, so the tool don't move it. And then you have to choose one point, and that point will be your point zero, and from that you have to calibrate the machine from that point. In the milling process, there's a lot of products that can be milled, and we think that almost every solid material can be milled. And we found it that the milling process is very versatile, because you can mill blue foam and create a very organic shape like this one, or maybe you can mill titanium and create a car part. But in a specific more materials, we have a table. In metals, we have alloy steel, carbon steel, cast iron, stainless steel, aluminum, copper, magnesium, zinc, ceramics, composites, lead, nickel, tin, titanium, elastomers, thermoplastics, and thermosets.
Machining is really important here in Mexico and in Querétaro specifically because Querétaro is one of the cities with the most quantity of enterprises, of industries that are using machinery and big machinery and this is really important. So machining is one of the most common processes that we could use for almost any material that's a metal, and well, at least metals that are really commonly used. For example, aluminium. So in Querétaro, this is really important, and I think this practice was really interesting because of that. So in Mexico and in Querétaro specifically, machining and milling would be really important.
This practice was very useful for me. I learned a lot and I enjoy it because now I learned and I know how to use this machine that I can use for many projects in the future and also for this class final project if we need to make a piece and to know what types of pieces of what types of material are made with this piece, so that's why I really enjoyed it.
I really like this practice because I found it very amazing, like the transformation from the raw material to the final product. I really like that with the milling process you can obtain very complex products, and no matter how complex it is, you can get it through the milling process, and it's not very complex process, and that's why I really like it, because like me as a designer, I can find the milling process very useful in a lot of products that I might use.
In this practice, we learn about three different methods that are the basic ones that are used for milling, that are face milling, hand milling, and plane milling. I also learned that milling is one of the most complex methods that are most useful in industries and in our daily life.
In conclusion, I can say that this practice was really interesting because this is one of the machines that is most widely used worldwide. So machining processes are really important for the industry, and us as industrial engineers, we will be using this kind of machinery daily because this is the most common type of machines. So I think this practice was really important, and thank you.